This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It's Tuesday, June 1st. I'm Jeff here with my friends Stephanie and Erica. June already.
How are you in June?
I know, Memorial Day weekend. Did you do anything fun this weekend?
I was very excited because, as I said on Friday, I was getting my face done. I had all of the microneedling and the lasers and Opus and Agnes and everything else, Dr. Jackson Moore and Dr. Na, who flew all the way from Korea to do my face. I was very, happy.
You recovered well.
Thank you.
Yes.
I think so. Wait for about a month and I'm going to look like a newborn baby.
How about you, Erica? Did you do anything?
Mine was not as transformative,
You
we'll
still
say.
look like a newborn baby.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
I'm loving her hair.
I know. I noticed when I came in.
Doesn't it look
Well,
good?
you know, I'm channeling my moms and aunties, like that 60s, 70s vibe. Yeah, we'll see
like
how this
it.
goes.
What about you?
Barbecue?
Oh, no.
Yeah, what'd you do? What else?
Oh, no, we went to the movies,
Yeah, that's
which was
right.
crazy because I haven't been in the movies in over 10 years. Apparently, I am very, very behind.
10 years?
Clearly, because I was telling Jeff earlier, I was like, the seats recline and there's like cup holders.
And they heat up and everything.
Yeah, and they bring you the concessions to you.
Yes.
But we went with the kiddos to see Raya and the Last Dragon, and it was amazing.
Aww.
We got to check that out on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And that leads right in. We just barbecued, same old, same old.
I bet you were barbecuing and you've done all your DIY fencing and everything.
Hung out. I did some DIY projects because it was a little bit rainy on Sunday and Monday, so just hung out with the fam. That's what I do every weekend.
Yeah.
But back to Disney Plus. It was a big return to the movies this Memorial Day weekend. Disney's Cruella pulled in over $26 million in 4 days. The movie was also released, like we said, on Disney Plus at the same time. But the big weekend box office winner was John Krasinski's A Quiet Place 2 that made $57 million over the same 4 days. The movie was only available in theaters, though. Amy Schumer gave the film some high praise on Instagram, but she took a jab at John and his wife and co-star Emily Blunt, joking that they have a pretend marriage for publicity. John responded by thanking Amy for blowing up his whole marriage spot. So people are getting back to the movies, Erica, just like you said.
Yeah, but it was a little strange because we were the only ones in the theater.
Oh.
I mean, it was a
Which is
matinee. Yeah, no, it was wonderful because the 7-year-old had questions every 5 seconds and said them quite loudly, but we were the only ones there. But I was kind of surprised that there weren't more people.
I tried to go and see both A Quiet Place 2 and Cruella. and I could not get a ticket, and I checked every day.
Really?
The only tickets that were available were right at the very front, and I like to be right at the very back, so I'm gonna have to wait for things to calm down. But I adore the cinema. I went as soon as it opened during the pandemic. I was there. I just think there's nothing more amazing than seeing it on the big screen as it's intended. And I know you can watch Cruella at home, but you still got to pay quite a lot of money for it. And I would rather go to the cinema to see it. I think it works out about the same for 2 people at the cinema.
Okay, so if you had a 4 and a 2-year-old, you still want to go to the cinema?
No.
How many kids were with you, Erica?
It was just 2 on Saturday, but yeah, and they wanted
it's
to.
Just 2.
Well,
like, that's a lot. That's a handful.
There's more than 2, so yeah, but just the 2 boys this weekend, and they were like old enough to kind of, you know, get it and sit there, which was great. But also the reason why might be that they're not selling tickets side by side, at least not the theater that
it's
we
not
went
full
to.
capacity.
Right.
Yeah.
So if someone buys a ticket, they'll block out one seat and then they sell the next one.
Well, I'm glad movies are coming back. 2 and a 4-year-old, I'll bring them. I'm glad they're coming back. All right, guys. Kate Winslet wants people to see her as she is. In a new interview with the New York Times, Kate revealed that she fought to keep an unflattering sex scene in her HBO series, The Mayor of Easttown, from being cut. In the scene, Kate, who is 45, said the director wanted to edit out a, quote, bit of bulgy belly from the scene, but she told him not to, saying she wanted to stay true to her flawed character by matching her body and age in every way. She also sent back the promo poster twice because she said it was too retouched and that she knows how many lines she has on the side of her eyes. Now, speaking of staying at home and watching television, The Mayor of Easttown, that's a good one on HBO if you got it. Season finale was last night. She is fantastic in it. And I see why, like, her character is flawed, right? She has a flawed past. People on there are flawed. So she wants those posters to reveal her character, not Kate Winslet, right? Does that make sense?
I think as well, though, when we were showing those pictures of her, obviously in the intimate scenes,
right,
and we blurred a little bit out, I think she looks amazing. I don't think there's anything to blur or edit in that.
I don't think if anyone made a big, any kind of stink about it, not a stink, I don't know the right word, no one would say anything about it, right?
Yeah.
That's who her character is.
Right. I think that it's important, though, because if it's not driving the story, then why is it being modified? So I think it might be coming down to the reasons why it's being modified that she's not down with. You know, like if her having a little bulge, which like everybody does, is an issue, then it may not be an issue for the storyline. It may just be an issue for the creators, like they don't find it palatable.
Exactly. And if Kate Winslet's not saying take that out, then why do anything about it anyway? You know?
No, I agree.
I'm glad she's stepping up. It makes me like Kate Winslet even more.
Oh, she's fantastic, isn't she?
I'm telling you, I don't give recommendations that often. Watch this. It's
I'm
great.
going to give it a go. You seem really into it.
I'm pretty into it because it's things that I watch at home, and me and my wife get in certain series, and this was one we really got into, and it's got a good twist. And
is it like dramatic, thriller, suspenseful?
It is. There is. There's a lot of that. A lot of that. All right, guys. Speaking of movie stars, The Rock is bulking up for his new film, but is he going too far this time? On Monday, The Rock posted this pic on Instagram showing off how buff he's getting for his upcoming superhero movie, Black Adam. How could you get any more buff? He captioned his post saying he's been working extremely hard, training unlike any other role in his entire career. He also added that he is under the watchful eye of a strength and conditioning coach. This guy defies. How old is The Rock?
Yeah,
he's like in his,
40s,
late 40s,
maybe more.
I think he's in his late 40s, early 50s.
And look at that body. I mean, he always looks like that. He's 49, I just found out. Wow.
I mean, wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the guy who puts his money where his mouth is, right? He makes his money off of hard work. He gets up at 4 in the morning, works out twice, goes back to sleep, and then goes to work all day for 12 hours on set. I mean, this guy's a worker.
His legs don't look real to me, though, Erica.
Well,
I mean, they are, but like.
I mean, that's a bodybuilding, you know, I've seen definitely bigger. I have, because I, you know, did that whole like fitness world thing. So
but I mean, that's not easy by any means.
No, it's not easy. That's an entire lifestyle. I was a little freaked out because if you just flash that photo, I thought it was John Cena at first.
Oh, yeah, because of, you know why you thought it was John Cena? This is just me guessing. That round brim hat, because that's kind of John Cena's look.
Yeah. And then the chiseled jaw,
So he's losing some weight, too.
Gosh.
Good for him.
I just don't have, I go to the gym and I work out, and it's not like that is like a whole, you're changing everything. Like you said, getting up at 4 in the morning, and I'm sure he like watches every single thing he eats.
Did you follow him on Instagram by any chance?
No.
You should see the meals.
I like when he like just is with his little girl and he's really cute and does Moana stuff. I was in with that,
but you should see his cheat meals.
Really?
He has a cheat meal and he puts on like a movie, and he has like 8 cookies, like 50 rolls of sushi.
So it's real cheating. It's not like a leaf.
It's craziness. It's craziness. But I'm a big Rock fan. He's very inspirational on Instagram as well. Look at me with all these suggestions today.
I know.
HBO, The Rock. All right, guys, some sad news we're going to end with here in the world of television. Actor Gavin MacLeod has died at the age of 90. He had been ill for some time, but his cause of death hasn't been released. Gavin was known, of course, for his role as the steadfast Captain Stubby on the Love Boat, and he played the role for 10 years and also returned for 2 Love Boat specials in the 90s. But he got his big break playing news writer Murray Slaughter on The Mary Tyler Moore Show. He earned 2 Golden Globe nominations for the role. Ed Asner, who played Mr. Grant on the show, paid tribute to his former co-star. He tweeted, quote, "My heart is broken. Gavin was my brother, my partner in crime, and my comic conspirator. Tell the gang I will see them in a bit. Betty White, Betty as in Betty White, it's just you and me now." That makes me kind of sad, because Ed Asner, you know who Ed Asner is? And Betty White, they're getting up there, and those are the last 2 from the classic Mary Tyler Moore Show. Kind of gets me emotional.
Betty White can never die.
It seems like it.
Like, isn't she older than sliced bread, like literally?
Literally, I think it was
Isn't that
invented
wild?
after she was born.
That's wild to me. I just think that's crazy. But bless him, and what a legacy he's leaving behind.
Right?
Seriously.
It's amazing. If you go, I was on his IMDb and just keep scrolling. What a life, what a career. All right, guys, coming up on DBL, the new season of American Ninja Warrior has debuted, and we're chatting with one of its co-stars about what makes his show so fun to watch. Plus, tennis champ Naomi Osaka drops out of the French Open for her mental health after refusing to talk to the media. We're talking about it next.
Closed captioning provided by
There are 2 main reactions to those videos. One is, aw, cute. The other one is, ew, don't they know we're in a pandemic? But as more people are getting vaccinated, some couples are currently in a spot where one partner is vaccinated and the other one isn't. And that can make sharing a kiss a little awkward. A verified viewer who wants to remain anonymous wrote to us asking, can a fully vaccinated person give COVID-19 to an unvaccinated person through kissing? So, my anonymous kissing bandit, this one is for you. Let's verify. Our sources, the Mayo Clinic, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. Stuart Ray, professor at Johns Hopkins Medicine.
Yes, you can spread it, and yes, you can contract it, but the risk is a lot lower than it was before being vaccinated.
And Dr. David Sullivan, a professor of molecular biology and immunology at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health.
So theoretically, yes, but the chances are low.
A recent article from the Mayo Clinic confirms COVID-19 can be transmitted through kissing, stating coming into contact with a person's spit through kissing or other sexual activities could expose you to the virus. And both doctors and the CDC agree. Even if you're vaccinated, you can still contract COVID-19.
There is some residual risk of transmission, and as long as community rates are high, then I think we ought to exercise some caution.
So we can verify this as true. It is possible for a vaccinated person to spread COVID-19 to an unvaccinated person through kissing. But according to both doctors, it has more to do with your proximity to each other than the actual kissing. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till. Want something verified? Email us or send us a text. For more Verify stories and to sign up for our newsletter, go to verifythis.com.
Welcome back to DBL. Tennis star Naomi Osaka is at the top of her game, but she has withdrawn from the French Open and announced she's stepping back from tennis. This comes just days after she refused to do press because of her mental health struggles. She also revealed a lot more about it, saying on Twitter that she had bouts of depression, social anxiety, and a fear of public speaking. Naomi's decision has a lot of tennis stars speaking out, some defending her, while others are talking about how press is part of the job. Billie Jean King said, while it's important that everyone has the right to speak their truth, I have always believed that as a professional athlete, we have a responsibility to make ourselves available to the media. And check out Serena Williams and Patrick McEnroe's take on it.
The only thing I feel is that I feel for Naomi. I feel like I wish I could give her a hug because I know what it's like.
She is a professional tennis player. She's an athlete, so you have to abide by certain rules, one of which is speaking to the press on a regular basis.
And this is not new. Every athlete, every football, basketball, baseball, if you don't talk to the press, you get fined. So this is nothing new. But the mental health thing behind it is kind of new in that sense.
Right. I don't think it's about, specifically the press conferences altogether. I think that is a part of where her anxiety is coming from. But I really would like for people to acknowledge and address the fact that this is a very young woman who is in a major amount of spotlight. She also happens to be of Black heritage, of Asian heritage, in a year that has been completely chaotic and crazy. People have looked to her to be an advocate. There's a lot of things that are on this young woman's plate, and I don't think that anyone is built for that type of pressure. So as opposed to talking about the way things should be because they've always been done that way, let's acknowledge that we are in a completely different world and that there are added pressures to her that weren't around when Billie Jean King or McEnroe were at their height. So let's have that conversation before we start criticizing her.
No, I feel like it's a real shame because for her to get to that level, to be in the French Open, to be the star that she is, that's time, that's dedication, that's her whole life she's committed to a sport, and to even be at that level is unbelievable, first of all. And I think it's so sad that she feels the pressure that she now has to give up her passion, her joy, her job, because she can't speak to the media. And I do believe, yes, it comes hand in hand, but I do wish that they would be a bit more understanding and be creative. So maybe journalists submit their questions beforehand, and she sits in a room with someone who she feels very comfortable with and trusts, and pre-records it, and then it gets released. There's so many different ways around it. We filmed a whole national television show for half of the pandemic from home, and this poor girl has to give up her career because she won't do an interview on the fly and the spot when she has serious mental health issues that she's really trying to battle and overcome, and depression. I mean, at times, we've all known someone who's suffered from depression and been in a really dark place. And can you imagine putting them on the spot in front of the entire world and being like, talk now and be your best self? Right. So I think let her do her thing, but just work with her and compromise. If we can run a national television show from home, this girl should be able to do an interview in a way that is more comfortable for her. Right. Yeah, she can control the narrative, though. If she goes out there, the one thing that she can't control is getting fined for not showing up. If she goes up and gives them half blank answers, you know what I mean, and then gets out of there.
Or she can pull a Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I won't get fined.
You know what's funny? You said that. I was going to mention that. I just looked it up, and I was like, maybe they won't know who Marshawn Lynch is. Good for you, Erica Kopp. All right, coming up on DBL, do you have what it takes to compete on American Ninja Warrior? Well, we're chatting about with one of the hosts. Look at that guy. It's coming up next.
Texas Democrats took a bold step to make sure the House would not be able to pass a voting restrictions bill. They walked out before the vote could happen. Let's connect the dots. Every state has a minimum number of lawmakers that have to be there to vote to pass a bill. It's called a quorum. Here in Tar Heel State, only a majority of lawmakers have to be there. But since everything's bigger in Texas, their state constitution says there have to be 2/3 of their voting members present, or it's a no-go. Walkouts are a pretty rare occurrence. In fact, nationwide, there have only been 8 major walkouts in the past 100 years. But political experts say that as politics becomes increasingly partisan, this could become a more common occurrence. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Flat top looking good. Oh! He did a 360. Hey, hold up. You can't just do a 360 on a one wall like that. Come on. Wow. Check this out again. Talk about looking good.
How did he even...
Steph shocked up there. Welcome back to DBL. You just watched a clip from American Ninja Warrior. The new season debuted last night, and earlier we caught up with co-host Akbar Bajabiamila, who gave us an inside look at what it takes to be an American Ninja Warrior. Check it out.
Akbar Bajabiamila, welcome to DBL. So we all know you from the NFL, right? Now you're a co-host of American Ninja Warrior, but you're also a dad to 4 beautiful children. You've pranked them several times on social media. So I want to know if they've ever gotten back at you.
You know what? They've tried, but it's very hard for them to get me back. Because here's the one thing: my kids, they're suburb kids. You know what I mean? I grew up in the hood, so I'm always on the lookout. You know, it's like so they've tried different things. I'm like, nah, I saw that one coming from a mile away. So, but they did kind of get me one time where they had me look at a bottle, and I looked over real quick, and they got me all up in my face. But the majority of the time they've tried, they can't get me. I told them, I said, Dad's from the hood, guys.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, 13 years on American Ninja Warrior. I need to know, what was the wildest move that you've ever seen a contestant make?
I think the wildest thing would probably 2 things. One, seeing Kevin Bull in season 6. We had an obstacle called Cannonball Alley, and all of a sudden, this is Kevin Bull. He decided to go inverted and use his legs to get through, and then he just swung and got through all the way on the other side. And it just blew my mind that, you know, he would think of that under duress. Because when you're stressed out, like, you can't think, and you're seeing everybody fail. And I think another one probably would be for me was Casey Catanzaro, who became our first woman to ever hit a qualifying and a finals buzzer, and that just opened up the floodgates for all of the success we've seen with the women so far. Now, some of our best ninjas, the top ninjas, are our female competitors.
Wow, yes, they are.
Cool.
And you know what, we would have to bring up that you've completed the course, right? That was about 2 years ago for charity. It was such an impressive run. What was the most challenging part of the course for you?
Aww. And also, were you embarrassed to take your shirt off? You're looking a little flabby there.
Well, you know, I did have the dad bod going on.
You look like He-Man. What are you talking about?
Well, you know, it was crazy because, you know, going from the NFL to then come into American Ninja Warrior, I was really afraid because I didn't want to lose any credibility. I'm a former athlete, and then I'm hosting the show. So if I fail, like, I lose all cred. So I felt like I had that pressure. Not to mention, my kids had never seen me play professional ball. So this is the only athletic thing they've ever seen me do. So I knew I had one shot, one fail, and I would never hear this down. My kids would look at me like, Dad, you couldn't do that. Next time you guys are in Denver, right?
Yeah. Right, yeah.
So next time we've been out there, I think twice already. Next time we'll have to come up. Yeah. Make sure we get you guys out to the course.
I will be sick that day because when I can't even jump from one thing to another and a 15-year-old girl hits the buzzer.
I'll do it. Hey, I'll do it.
I'm sick that day. I already know I'm sick that day.
I already know.
Sam, come on, Sam.
Yeah, you give me like if you could, a month to 2 weeks in advance so I could just brush up.
It's not like you have 4 kids and you're running a show. Make sure you keep Sam in mind.
I want to brush up on my skills.
Hey, no, Sam, trust me, I won't forget. I will remember.
Akbar, thank you so much for chatting with us. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Pop quiz, category, food. What's starchy, salty, and tastes best fresh out of the fryer? Give yourself 10 points if you guessed French fries, hash browns, or tater tots. So why are we talking about deep fried potatoes? Well, a study from 2017 is making the rounds on the internet again. This time, it claims eating French fries can lead to an early death. Well, this year's claim is slightly different than previous years. This claim is focused on how many times French fries are consumed in a week. So let's verify. Will you die earlier if you eat French fries or hash browns 2 to 3 times a week? Our sources: Dr. Kantha Shelke, food scientist, founder of Corvus Blue LLC, and visiting professor of food safety regulations at Johns Hopkins University. Angela Lehman, registered dietitian nutritionist, chief executive officer, and co-owner of Lehman Nutrition in Plano, Texas, and the national spokesperson for the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Dr. Kantha Shelke and Angela Lehman say there are several factors missing from the study.
Many of these people were they had other pre-existing conditions, arthritis, diabetes, etc. It did not look into their lifestyle, which is very important.
Maybe they're not exercising enough. They're eating, high-fat meats with that as well. They're drinking, a lot of sugar in their beverages. So what we need to see is the whole clinical picture of why these people are dying early. And so we can't really just say it's the French fries that's killing them.
1, 2, 3. Still alive. The claim that eating French fries and other fried potatoes 2 to 3 times a week will cause an early death is misleading.
Consuming French fries is not going to hurt you or kill you unless you did that in such a way that you excluded other good things with you. But if you like French fries in moderation, absolutely okay.
If you're worried about your fried potato intake, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention suggest healthier alternatives like baking, roasting, steaming, grilling, or broiling. Want something verified? Email your questions to questions@verifythis.com or send a text to 202-410-8808. To check out more stories like this and sign up for our newsletter, go to verifythis.com. Until then, I'm Ariane Till.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. As air travel ramps up with more people being vaccinated, the Better Business Bureau says there's an increase in airfare scams. Scammers are reportedly targeting people by selling tickets through fake booking sites or customer service numbers. Make sure to reach the company before making a purchase and double check the URL to make sure it's a secure site. When it comes to your financial assets, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. People, right, Erica?
Yeah, over people who are looking for a great deal, which means they might not have disposable income. That's terrible.
That's this guy looking for a good deal. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.
Thank you.